What have I done for you, England, my England? What is there I would not do, England, my own? Life is good, and joy runs high between English earth and sky. Death is death, but we shall die to the song on your bugles blown. England, to the stars on your bugles blown. England, my England, a poem by William Ernest Henley, was used often in World War I to stir the British to a call to patriotism. As we consider our English ancestors, may we also consider to do all we can to complete their important family history work. Certificates from the General Register Office, GRO of England, can provide more accurate family history information of our beloved English ancestors. Prior to the creation of the GRO in 1836, there was no national system of vital statistical registration in England and Wales. Baptisms, marriages, and burials were recorded in parish registers maintained by clergy of the Church of England. Here are a couple of examples of parish registers, one from 1817 and another from 1828. In the 18th and 19th centuries, more people were becoming nonconformists by refusing to follow the regulations of the Church of England. Even though nonconformists could not hold public office or obtain a university degree and still had to pay Church of England taxes, their numbers increased, though too often their vital statistics weren't recorded. When available, nonconformist records are very informative and accurate sources of information. Facing pressures, especially in the courts, with incomplete property right records, finally in 1836, the Registration and Marriage Acts of England were passed that took effect on 1 July 1837. England and Wales were divided up into 619 strictly administrative registration districts that included a number of parishes, each under a superintendent registrar. The registrar was required to find and record all birth, marriages, and deaths, regardless of religious preference. A listing of many registration districts and parishes included can be found on Family Search Wiki and other websites. The Birth and Death Acts of 1874 required compulsory civil registration with the responsibility on the parents to report births within 42 days. Deaths were required to be reported within 5 days. Besides establishing vital family history information, the GRO registrations also gave critical statistical information for health and social welfare reform as infant mortality and literacy were surveyed. At the end of each quarter, March, June, September, December, the Superintendent Registrar sent a copy of each entry to the Registry General in London. The Crown owns the rights to all government documents. Searchable indexes of the vital information were created and are available free online on sites as Family Search, Find My Past, Ancestry, and Free BMD. In 2005, the GRO began to have all their records digitalized with approximately 50% of the 260 million record done. The project was not completed, and at present there are no further plans to do more. Using the digitalized records, new GRO indexes of birth and deaths are searchable on their website. Birth indexes from 1837 to 1915 can now be searched with the mother's maiden names, if given. Death indexes from 1837 to 1957 now have the ages of death listed. Here are some examples of these indexes, one with death ages, another with births. Notice 30 George Davises, 12 James Davises, and 30 Marriage Davises, all born in the same quarter and year. Places then become a critical indicator when trying to search for a particular ancestor. On the BYU YouTube channel are two recent outstanding presentations by Catherine Grant on using the GRO to find missing children and mothers' maiden names. Everyone doing English research should view these. Marriage information was not digitalized, so other sites should be used. Catherine pointed out an important event, as in 1837 was the beginning of civil registration in England. 1837 was the year the apostles of the Lord, Heber C. Kimball and Orson Hyde, began the first mission of the church to England. An excellent book that helps understand the great work of the 9 apostles there and the strong faith of the British converts is Men with a Mission. The purpose of this presentation is not to discuss how to use the indexes, but the value of taking the next step of ordering the certificates which have more information. Once one has found a possible index of one's ancestors, before ordering a certificate, I check all the partner sites for any information on the individual. One can use the limited information found in the indexes or send for a certificate to gain all the information possible. Each certificate costs about £9, $14, and are only available via post from England. There is a priority service for £23. At present, these are the only ways to obtain certificates. A lower cost service would be of great value for the family historian, as one just really wants the information available. The General Register Office of Ireland, GRO, has civil registrations since 1864. At minimal expense, one can view online the place and date of birth of the individual and full names of parents. The General Register of Scotland has civil registrations available from 1855 to 1939. They also have old parish extracts from 1841 to 1911. Despite the cost and the mailing time, there are a number of benefits of ordering the certificates with full collected information. First, one needs to create a free account. You then provide the information from the indexes needed for the certificate sought with the name, year, quarter, district, along with the volume and page number. You can order several certificates at one time, but they are all mailed individually. Oh, and of course, a Visa or MasterCard number is needed. On the certificate, one can learn the actual dates of birth, marriages, and deaths. The indexes were created quarterly, so if an index state the birth occurred in January to March of 1880, the birth could have actually occurred between those dates and 42 days before 1 January 1880. So the person could have actually been born between November 18, 1879 and March 31, 1880. One could also possibly find a family listing 2 children born in 1880 and wonder if they were twins without full, accurate information. On Family Tree, for temple work, an event could be listed from just the index as occurring in 1880 or before April 1880, but the certificate provides a more accurate record. A certified birth certificate shows the date and place of birth, the full name and sex of the individual, name of the father, name of the mother and maiden name, occupation of the father, and informant, often the mother or another family member, along with the registrar. A certified marriage certificate provides the place and date of marriage, the couple's names, ages and condition. Note my great-aunt as a 21-year-old spinster. The couple's names and occupations and addresses, both fathers' names and professions. Witnesses are often other family members. If one of the fathers has passed away, under profession, deceased will be listed. That is an important knowledge to have. This marriage certificate is especially important as my great-grandmother, Elizabeth Hodson, was a witness at her brother John's marriage. Yet less than a year later, in July 1873, Elizabeth, at the age of 21, left her parents and family to follow her faith and come to Zion, and never saw her family in England again. Her legacy is a story of great strength for our family. On the certified death certificate is the date and location of death, full name and sex of the deceased with approximate age, occupation, cause of death, and the informant and relationship. All this information can add more enlightenment as one seeks to bond families together and to know more of their ancestors' history. In this case, this was my great-aunt's only child who died at age 18 with complications of diabetes mellitus. Fortunately today, for a 14-year-old granddaughter, treatments are much better. Certified certificates can also help solve important family issues. Here are a couple of situations. Originally in the family historical records from a census, it was noted that William Stewart Hodgson, born 1884 in Russia, now that's another story, was married to a Mary Crompton. Another census had her name as May. Mary is more common, so that is maybe why her name was initially listed on family tree as Mary. Yet, which is correct? One could state her as either, but if information is available, then I think it's best to show the correct information. The certified marriage certificate definitely lists her name as May, as does her son's certified copy of birth. In rechecking the census, it would also noted that it was really a May and not a Mary. I'm sure May is happy to be known by her real name, as would we all be. As mentioned, my great-grandmother Elizabeth Hodgson left England in 1873. Elizabeth's younger sister Charlotte married in 1881. Our family record showed Charlotte having one child, named Charlotte also, or Lottie, in 1883. Charlotte suddenly passed away in 1887 at the age of 27. 2 years later, Charlotte's widowed husband, John Henry Norris, married Alice Flitchcroft. The 1891 England census shows Alice with two daughters, Lottie, Jessie, son Harry, and Alice's sister Jane. Who is 4-year-old Jessie, born about 2 years before they were married? The 1901 census shows the family again. Who is the 14-year-old Jessie? Was she born to Alice before meeting John? Was she born before Alice and John were married? The 1911 census shows the family without the two daughters, but also lists Alice as having only 2 children, both living, Harry and Bertie. Could Jessie possibly be another child of Charlotte? Did Charlotte possibly pass away from childbirth complication? The search for Jessie begins. Charlotte's headstone tells no information about Jessie. Today's new GRO would have provided Jessie's mother's maiden name. This is exciting, for Hodgson is the mother's maiden name. But there are a lot of Hodgsons. Is this really our Charlotte? A certified birth certificate provides the answer. Even though it may take 3 to 4 weeks for a certificate to arrive from England after being ordered by email, that is one of the benefits of ordering a certificate. Since the only snail mail we mostly get anymore is either junk mail or bills, one can look with great anticipation for the brown envelope from Southport, United Kingdom. There she is, Jessie, the daughter of John Henry and Charlotte Hodgson. What a thrill it is to see a child to her parents. At the same time, Alice must have been a special lady to raise 2 young girls from Charlotte, while at the same time losing a son Bertie in World War I somewhere in France. This information can be added on Family Tree for all to share. We owe our ancestors our all, and if certificates from the GRO of England can add more information about our ancestors, then they are well worth it.